I'm Meg. I have a PhD in sex education policy. This is 50 States of Sex Education, and today we're looking at Minnesota, my home state. Minnesota had an amazing legislative session last spring, with Minnesotan legislators ensuring reproductive freedoms, declaring the state a trans refuge, establishing free school breakfast and lunch for all Minnesota kids, instituting paid family leave, putting free menstrual products in all K-12 and higher education public school restrooms, and so much more. But those successes did not extend to sex education policy. Currently, Minnesota law does require that schools teach sex education and that it must include information on abstinence, but that's really where the standards end in the state. Curriculum is not required to include instruction on sexual orientation, gender identity, or consent. Without content standards or requirements, students might learn something completely different from school to school within a single school district, or even from classroom to classroom within a single school building. Really, the student's experience of sex education in Minnesota sort of comes down to chance. The curriculum does not need to be medically accurate, but law does require it to be technically accurate. Let me know how that could be interpreted or misinterpreted in the comments. Finally, like many states, Minnesota does require that curriculum be available for parental review, and parents are more than welcome to opt their kids out of sex education in any school in Minnesota. Here's the language of the law itself from SECUS's state profile website. Feel free to pause and take a closer look if you'd like. Looking at Minnesota, I see a state that has made incredible progress in the 2023 session with regards to education, sexual and gender health, and all these other things for the people in the state. But it has failed to pass a comprehensive sex education policy that would establish necessary standards for the required sex education instruction that they ask all schools to do. But that's not for lack of trying. House Representative Sidney Jordan introduced a comprehensive sex education bill last spring that did not gain sufficient traction. Minnesotans, if you care about sex education, contact your local representatives, look into platforms of your local school board members, and ask education administration in your communities what kind of sex education is taught. We all deserve to live in communities, states, and countries where people are educated and informed about sex and gender. If you're from Minnesota, let me know about your sex education experience in the comments or as a stitch, and let me know what state I should cover next.